Guys, we're friends, right? Well, the sign of a true friend is when they discover something good, they share it with you. And that's what I'm gonna do today. This is Loretta's British ginger tea. It is amazing. It's got 100% ginger, cinnamon, elderberry, and manuka honey. Gotta admit, don't know what manuka honey is, not even sure what it does for you, but it just sounds healthy, so I need some. This tea is fantastic for boosting your immune system, helps you feel good, and you'll live out loud like our beautiful British friend Loretta. Please hit her up on Instagram, order some of this tea, and she is at farmers markets and pop-up shops everywhere. You gotta get some of this stuff. Not only is it good for you, but it tastes great. Loretta's British ginger tea. I got some, you need it too. Go and order now.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're watching Rude Rangers TV.
You're listening to Rudy Radio, powered by Rude Rangers Entertainment. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization, and this is Talk with Terra, a show that highlights fantastic filmmakers, artists, and entertainers from all walks of life. We're committed to introducing you to individuals, organizations, and projects of which you're not necessarily aware. And we do this with the intention of uplifting, empowering, and enlightening you. If you can, please share this episode on all of your social media platforms. We also love it if you text your friends and ask them to please tune in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a phenomenal treat. I have a very talented guest today. And you're going to hear some of why I am saying this on this interview. But without laboring the intro, please help me welcome the fabulous filmmaker, Miss Shirelle. Hello, Shirelle. How are you?
Hello, Sarah Renee. How are you?
I am great. I am great. Welcome, welcome. And I know that our audience are going to just be delighted by what you have to share. And then I'm excited about the news that I'm going to share with them as well, as it relates to you and your wonderful talent. So again, welcome. And I'm letting everyone know now that Miss Shirelle is a filmmaker, a great one at that. And could you please tell the audience what drew you into filmmaking?
Okay, first, let me just thank you for having me, Terra. I think you are so super awesome. You and Rude Rangers. Yes, and well, Terra, and you know, us filmmakers, we like to tell stories. So I always have a story to tell. All right, so what drew me into filmmaking? I thought it was interesting. I started thinking about this. If I go back years and years, when I remember my girlfriends and I, we wouldn't do what normal people did at our age, like going out to the clubs and stuff. We would sit home and watch movies and make lasagna. And we would watch movies where everybody's out partying and dancing and doing everything. And I remember so well, after certain movies, I would go, oh, I could have wrote a better ending than that. You know, I could have wrote a better ending. You ever watch a movie, you go, oh my God, the ending could have had some work, right? But never did I really fathom I really could do it. I said those words, and words are powerful, and I know that. And that's how powerful they are. As years later, I am doing it. But at the time, I said the words, but I really didn't fathom that I could really be a screenwriter because we didn't see that kind of representation. And I'm going to date myself. But I did not know of any Black or brown woman or man that was writing movies. I can't recall, like somebody said, this person wrote it. Now, we may have seen a sprinkle of an actor here or there, but I didn't know that really this was an area that I could go into, you know? And so that's so years, like I said, I'm dating myself. This was years, you know, when I was younger. But fast forward, I have always had this gift of writing, but I did not know it. So I discovered it late in life. So that was my story. I discovered it late in life. And so when someone asked me, and I remember, like I said, going back to words are powerful, I remember somewhere along the line, like, you know, years later, after the declaration that I could have wrote a movie better than that, an ending better than that, I remember saying, I'm going to write a book, a play, and a movie. And so, again, words are powerful. Someone asked me to write, I was a fitness leader at a church, my former church, and someone asked me to write something for how we could not gain weight over the holidays, right? Now I'm like, forget about it. Just grab those 5 pounds and embrace them and eat your chip. Yeah, and forget about it. But back then it was like, okay, let me take on this challenge. So as I was writing something for like a bulletin thing, I said, this is a book. And that is how my first book came about. It's called EAT. I was writing something because someone asked me to do it just like an article. But as I'm writing, I said, this is a book. And I learned how to self-publish my book. And shortly thereafter, I had a book in my hand, right? So here is how my journey is starting to filmmaking. It's like, wait a minute, I'm a writer. So I'm just this about myself, but it was always there. When I'm now going back to when I was younger, I used to always spend hours in a card store. If I was going to get somebody a card, I took that as like, this was some serious. I didn't just go running and grab a card. I was making sure I got the right card. And if 1 or 2 words went off, I would scratch them out and write the right words. People love getting cards from me. They would say, he gives the best cards, right? I got the words and write the perfect word to go over. So again, like I said, me discovering like this writer was always in me. So my first filmmaking came about when I was sitting in a comedy show, and I'm a woman of faith. And so the people that I thought I was going to see that were daytime comedians, well, nighttime, they're a little different, right? And they were just F-bombs and dropping all kinds of words. And I'm like, oh my God. And I had just come off of a fast. And so I was like, so, you know, that was really scathing to my ears. And I'm like, okay, those jokes are funny, but they would have been just as funny without all the profanity. That's how my first film came about. So it was on a Friday. By Monday, I had the idea for my first film called The Prayers Club. So I wrote the movie. Again, my journey is not traditional. I did not go to film school. I have just this gift that I had to just nurture and discover and realize that I had it, and then use and work it. Like the word says, faith without works is dead. So I had to work for it. So I credit God with everything that He's given me to learn how to write and create, because it was not me. It was just His gift that He entrusted me with. So I wrote this movie. I said, well, let me see if it's as good as I think it is. I entered it into a screenwriting contest and it placed. I said, okay.
Wow.
There, right? Okay. It's not just me. So my first film came about because it's like, okay, I want to do this feature film. Like I said, I didn't go to school. I don't know anybody. How are we going to get this done, God? So I just had to just stay on the path, trusting and believing. And I will tell people all the time, do what you can do with what you're working with. So what I could do at the time was a short film. It's like, okay, I can do that. And that's how I got into filmmaking. That was my first, coming from writing a screenplay, coming from a comedy show. The Prayers Club is my first film that I wrote, and the first short film that I did, all with the expectation to do the feature film, which is going to be coming, going to be manifesting. And so that's how I journeyed into filmmaking. And that film, oh, wait a minute, let me say something else. And I entered that into African American women in cinema, and that was a selection too. My first short film was a selection of the African American Women in Cinema Film Festival in your 20th anniversary. Oh, thank you, Terra.
You're welcome. And I do remember your first film. Can you share with the audience a little bit more about what it actually is all about?
The first film?
Yep.
Sure. The first film called The Prayers Club. It's about a raunchy comedian that unknowingly gets booked to do a performance at the Prayers Club. He thinks he's going to the Players Club. So you can only imagine. That's a comedy. It's super funny. And so yeah, I that's like my first baby. You know how you have your first project. It's like, that's my baby. So that's my first baby. And matter of fact, someone a producer had asked to add this to his portfolio to try to get this produced. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Good.
But yeah,
Good.
That's my first baby.
Oh, that is good. And congratulations. And I am so glad that you took the route to realize your gifting and also your dream. Because, Shirelle, a lot of people, when they discover their gifting and they discover their dreams, they are afraid to take those first steps.
Yes.
They say, oh, I don't have the resources to make it happen, and then they, get fearful of all the potential critics.
Yes.
It's amazing. The critics haven't even formed yet, but in their mind, it's already, they already have them there. It's amazing. So in making your first film, what was that experience like? Like, how did you select the crew? How did you select the talent? And then the actual day of shooting? And how long did it take you to shoot?
Okay, so my first film, like I said, I give all credit to God. It was like a move now. And I think I shared the whole story with you, and I probably don't have time. But I knew that time was critical because I was being caregiver for my dad, and he had gone in the hospital. And so I said, okay. It was just like all of a sudden it was due to short film, because the thing that I was lacking was the crew. And I heard about this crew that was like down the street from me. I'm like, where did this come from? Because that was the missing piece of why I didn't, pursue it earlier. And it just like appeared. I said, I got to move now. And I knew that it was God's timing. And so when I contacted the person, I said, I'm going to use them. It was off to the races. God pulled together the actors. We had auditions, the location. I was blessed to have one location. Only needed 2 locations, but in one location, I was able to do like 5 scenes in that one building, which was a blessing. And then I only had to go like outside of that location for 1 scene. So it was like it all pulled together, and I did it in 30 days, but we only filmed for 2 days. And it was 20 pages, and that's a lot to do in 2 days.
Yeah, and people don't realize, the labor that goes on behind the scene and making that happen. But we'll be right back. We're going to discuss a little bit more about that after these messages. You're listening to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
We're having a conversation with African American filmmakers. Join the African American Women in Cinema Filmmaker series at the Clubhouse, presented by I Am the Color of Beautiful Global, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. AAWIC on Clubhouse. Join us on the Clubhouse app for this inspiring conversation. Hosted by Karen Moore, founder of I Am the Color of Beautiful Global. Join us this Monday at 6 p.m. on the Clubhouse app for African American Women in Cinema's Filmmaker series.
Hi, I'm Harry O'Confetti, international Formula One driver. I sped to get to Long Island Telecom before they closed. I need to get one of these fantastic deals that Long Island Telecom has, because you can't beat the price anywhere else. Oh, get away from that car. What are you doing? Freaking kids playing with the car out there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. Wait, what do you mean you're closing? I gotta come back tomorrow? What's your number? 631-833-9679? Oh, stop writing me a ticket.
Hey, this is Jewel Taker from the Jewel Taker Show on Impact Network. Also, you can watch me and my family on The Tankers on Prime Amazon, or watch me and my sister's Chatter Talk show on Fox. So me and my girls, Dr. Dee Freeman, Monique Eilert Mosley, Real Talk Kim, and Holly Carter, and you're watching Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Woman in Cinema, and today we are talking with the fabulous and talented Shirelle. Shirelle, you were telling us before we went on break about your first time filmmaking experience, and you stated that it took you about 30 days and you only shot for 2 days. I was saying before we went on break, the labor intensity that goes into making a film. So can you just shed a little light to the audience as to what was the 30 days about, and how come you only end up shooting for 2 days?
Okay, pre-production is crucial. Pre-production is crucial. So in my instance, because I was pulling a Tyler Perry and doing everything myself, typically you'll have somebody doing location scouting, or you'll have somebody doing props or set art department. I was doing everything, and you have somebody doing catering and all that. No, I was the caterer. But I enjoy creating. I enjoy that whole process because, I'm a creative, and that gets my adrenaline going. So I don't mind doing any of that. But typically, somebody has their own responsibility, or there are quite a few people that have their own responsibilities. But I did it all. So the big thing for me is finding locations. It's it has to be the perfect location. So that took the longest. And once that was done, the production company I used set up the auditions in their office. So it was everything coming together. But that's, the pre-production takes the longest, dotting those I's and crossing those T's before you actually go to shoot. Having the right people as far as crew, having the right people as far as talent, making sure that everything is going to look good on screen.
That is true. Your casting process, did you know that when let's just say the first actor that walked into audition, did you go by your gut, as they say, your gut instinct, and something in you just said this is the one, or you just waited to see what they had to offer and then kind of weigh over what you saw? How was that process for you?
I love casting. Especially my own projects, because as a writer, you kind of have an idea of what you want the person to look like. So as far as those people, I knew that the main two characters were the most important, and I already was bringing in somebody that I knew could probably play the comedian. So I was good with that. I was bringing in somebody, but I still gave other people a shot at it. But he prevailed as I thought. The other lead was a female. That was totally just going by if they delivered the lines, and just myself and the production person who I was using. He was in there with me, and he would be like, yeah, he would co-sign. Like I said, I think it's this one. He would be like, yeah, I agree with you. So I would get feedback from other people about the character. So look, I'm open. If you can deliver, then I'm going, you can deliver. I don't even go by what background you have. Like, have you acted before? It's like, because I know. No, wow. I know. Because I'm talented and I don't have like the experience that other people may have. So I don't do that because I'm going to treat people the way I want them to treat me. Can she deliver? Can he deliver? Like, I know I can. Without having this extensive resume of what I have done. So no, I give people a shot. Just show up. If you got the audition, show up and show me what you can do.
Wow. Go ahead, Shirelle. I love that. I love that so much. Yeah, because you never know. I mean, and that's how stars are born, if you will. Yes. I heard that Sidney Poitier did a lot of those military training films. I haven't done the research to find out if that was in fact the case, but you'd be surprised when you begin to hear how some of these very, very great talented people start. So I like the fact that you just kind of snatch off the traditional way of doing things and say, hey, let's see this talent, because you never know. And that's really, really good. So I'm excited to share with the audience the good news. Shirelle, in fact, is our winner of the 22nd Annual African American Woman in Cinema Audience Award. We are so proud of her and certainly salute her receiving this honor. And could you please, first of all, tell the audience the name of the film? How did you come up with that idea, and what was that process like?
OMG. Okay, so first, thank you again. Yes, everybody, I am the winner of the African American Women in Cinema 22nd Film Festival Audience Award. I'm so excited about that. Yeah, so the second film is called How to Be Your Husband's Mistress. Notice I said your husband's mistress, not mine. How to Be Your Husband's Mistress. So, film is my second film, short film. But again, I do short films as proof of concept to the feature films to come. So people can say, oh, wait a minute, that is going to be a good movie when she does the feature film. So that's why I do the short film. So I have written the feature film for this. And I wanted to do something show range, because when people see the Prayers Club, they assume that, okay, maybe she, they just assume the word is pray is in there. Maybe she's just a faith-based writer. I wanted to show, no, I can give you something to make you go, ooh. It's not make you go, oh, but at the same time, I'm still going to have a moral compass in there somewhere, because that is my foundation. Faith is my foundation. But you might not think that from this title, but it is a good movie, as people obviously have seen the short film and will attest to that. And I still get people saying, wait a minute, when is this feature film going to get done? I'm like, hold on. Let's let everything come together. It's going to come once the right people get on board. But yeah, so I did that as, like I said, to show range, to just keep writing and not be like a one-hit wonder, even though the Prayers Club has not been produced yet. But as far as just writing one movie, no. If you want to be a filmmaker, a writer, you have to keep writing. And so that's what I've been doing, keep writing. So I have multiple screenplays now. But that one is because I love love. I want to see people stay together. In this climate of COVID and being on top of one another all the time, marriages are being challenged. They sure are. Yeah, being challenged. So I have, I'm also known as the Minister of Fun. So in this movie and the book that goes along with it, there are games for couples to play to, keep the spice in their relationship and keep it fresh and just have fun with one another. So that's also included in the movie. That's me, a little bit of my personality in there, because I'm always going to have something fun. I think in anything I write, even if it's just a drama, it's going to be something fun in there. But that was why I wrote that movie. And I've been told that this is going to be blessing a lot of marriages. People that have seen this, this is going to bless a lot of marriages. And plus people, I think, and what's interesting? I think people in the faith-based sphere shy away from the word mistress, and so this is that challenge with that. It's like they want to shy away from that word. I'm like, do you know there are some of those in the church too? Please. Get with it. So so this is just a good film. Like I said, it's been said to me that it's going to bless a lot of marriages, and that is what I hope that it does, because there's like a roller coaster ride that the main couple takes, and then there's a little, some little monkey wrenches thrown in there. But not to give away a lot about the feature film, but that's also when you see the short film, you will see that. Because I did leave it as a cliffhanger, so for people to want. And I've been successful with that.
That's great. That's great. So how was that process like of organizing it, and what was your shooting like? How many days did you shoot? Was it as challenging as it was for your first short film, or was it different?
It was about the same thing, about 30 days and 2 days of shooting.
Wow.
Yeah, the same thing. The whole pre-production, I did everything again. And then we shot actually, no, let me say it. We were supposed to do 2 days. Did you know we did it in 24 hours?
Really?
20 pages. Now that is like, people like, that's impressive. I'm like, yes, it is impressive. 20 pages in 24 hours. So it's supposed to be 2 day shoot, but we just kept on going. Everybody was having fun. Everybody was like, yeah, let's just get it done, knock it out. And it just aligned up and worked out. And so, yeah, I know I probably couldn't do that with SAG actors, but it worked out for us.
Well, that's good. That's excellent. Wow, that's impressive, Shirelle. 24 hours.
Yes.
That's amazing. Wow. So, okay, I know you talked about, both of your films going into feature films. Are those, or especially this last one that won the film festival, is that your next project, or do you have your eye on something else that you wrote for it to be your next project?
I'm going to go with whatever goes first. That's where I am. I'm going with whatever goes first, because again, my whole holdup is funding. So wherever this money comes from, and whoever wants to put whatever project first, I am all aboard.
That's good. Wow, that's good. The faith-based genre, as it relates to filmmaking, when it first got started, a lot of people did not think, a lot of Hollywood executives did not think that it would really go anywhere. And now it's a major category. I think it blew a lot of these executives out the water when the film War Room became the box office hit for 2 straight consecutive weeks.
Yes.
No stars.
Right.
I mean, it was people starting it, but when we say that, we mean non-recognizable names.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so I got a call from that. Someone from the industry called me and said, "Do you believe War Room is #1 at the box office?" I said, "Oh yeah, I believe that."
And I do too.
Well, we'll be right back after these messages. You'll listen to Talk with Terra, presented by African American Women in Cinema, right here on Rudy Radio.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS and the Make the Grade Foundation for Education. You're listening to Rudy Radio.
Welcome back to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema, and today we have filmmaker Shirelle. She's talking to us, giving us some great insight. She's talking about her journey, her process, what truly inspires her and help her continue to move forward. And we're going to talk more about that. Shirelle, who is your biggest inspiration in film?
Tyler Perry. You know why? Because he took his gift, did not rely on Hollywood or anybody to endorse him. He knew who his audience was, and he created just for that audience, and it took off. So yeah, I think I patterned myself. And you know what's interesting? People always tell me, you need to connect with Tyler Perry. I'm like, well, do you think if I had his number that I can reach out to him? People tell me that like it's so easy. It's like, do you know I don't know anybody in this industry? Why do you keep telling me call Tyler Perry like it's just easy? Everybody tells me every time when they see my work, you need to connect with Tyler Perry. It's like, hello, do you think I tried? Like, it's gonna happen. Yeah, I think I patterned myself because it's non-traditional. My it's non-traditional, and so yes. And I also there's a local filmmaker that is also making moves. Tressa Azarel, and we're both out of the DMV area, and she's definitely an inspiration because her journey is non-traditional as well. Yes. She was, a school teacher, and then she made her way into the film business without, going to film school in a traditional way. So anybody that's non-traditional is like my inspiration because it just goes to show if you have a gift, you have a talent, and you believe in yourself, you can do it.
That is true, and you're right, Miss. I call her Miss Smallwood, but you're right. We ended up screening her film, one of her films, during our Sundance program. And that was an amazing story within itself. But, what we're saying here today, I am hoping that, our audience can understand that you should not allow any form of barrier to block you from really exercising your gifts and talent. And yes, there are a lot of barriers, lack of resources, folks who may not be in 100% agreement with you, but you go forth and conquer anyway. And on that note, Shirelle, I have had very talented people who said that one of their barriers was their own family. Their own family did not co-sign with them and gave them the support that they sought because, first of all, they did not take this as a serious career. Did you experience any of that?
I'm going to say, I think my family was just sitting back watching because I have been the type that you could say, oh, here she go again. I do so much stuff. Like, oh, here she go again. So I think, once they seen me jump out there and did that first short film, it was an eye opener for them. Like, wow, she really did it. And so I'm going to say that I think they know they're still waiting for like the big thing because I've been so long that I've been trying to like get a real big push out there. But I think just the little accomplishments made them go, no, she's going to do this eventually. Yeah, she's going to do this eventually. But, she's chugging along like the little locomotive, but she's going to do this eventually. And so they get my immediate family-based support. As far as cheerleading, nobody has put out any money yet. Oh, they support with claps and good words. Yeah.
Okay, not the check yet. Okay, yeah. Well, that's going to come. That's going to come.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people who embark on this journey do want to know, how do you finance your film? Now, before you answer, I want to share this short story. One year during our film festival, we had Mr. Robert Townsend, who so elegantly described how he financed his first feature. And because he is a natural born comedian, it was so comical the way he talked about it. And basically he stated that he got a national commercial, and it paid a lot of money. So he saved that. And then he had credit cards. And then he asked his mom, to make some food. And she didn't understand shooting all day with crew members. So she just had like maybe a couple bowls of fried chicken. And so he would say to the crew every time they get near the chicken, don't touch the chicken.
Yeah, how about it? We got to stretch that.
Yeah, and the other part was that I caught was so funny. His mother didn't realize he did a national commercial, and so when he got
oh wow,
when he got the money from the commercial, she was over the moon because she said, "Where did you get all this money from? Are you selling drugs? Are you selling drugs?"
Right. Like, no, mama, I made it. You know that everybody wants to say that. No, mama, I made it.
But how do you go about, whatever you feel comfortable in sharing with the audience, just to kind of give them some hope in them financing their projects? And one quick thing too, before you answer as well, it's not like how when we started out years and years ago, it was a very expensive project, if you will, to take on, because you literally had to buy film, you literally had to buy sound tape, then you had to go to an editing suite where they had the machinery to edit on and splice, all these things. Very expensive to do. Now you can literally do a film on your phone. But go ahead.
Yes,
Shirelle.
And just to your point, it is so much easier nowadays to do it. So and that's what I have to get out of my mental sometimes, because when I do things, I think, hey, and I think that is my downfall. It's like, no, do what you can do with what you have. So could I do a feature film? I probably could. But when you mentioned War Room not having any name actors, but they have some other stuff to go along to help them get it out there without the name actor. So you gotta have like one or the other. Now we can we can do films all day long with no name actors and people who are just want to get a shot and have credits in movies, and we can do that all day long. I think it's like one of my mentors said, think about the distribution part. Like, if you have investors, you need to set this up the best way so that you can pay those investors back. Now, if you are taking your own money, you don't have to worry about anything. You do it with what you have, because you're not going to lose anything. You have to believe in yourself first and invest in it. If you don't want to invest in yourself, why would you expect anybody else to invest in you? So go and do. And nowadays, like you said, you can take a phone and film a movie. Who was that the first person I think filmed a movie with the iPhone? Was it the cab scene? I can't think of the name of the movie. Whatever, it escapes me. But I know when they told me, I said, he made a movie just with an iPhone? Lord, I said, okay. So we have many options nowadays and I see a lot of independent people are taking advantage of that. So we are in a good time and place to be able to get films made for those creatives and the writers. It's like, we can do it. You just have to think about, okay, what is my goal? Is my goal just to make a film, to say, hey, I did it? Like I said, that was my goal when I said I'm going to write a book, do a stage play, and do a movie. So what is your goal? Is it just to do it? Then go do it. But if it's to make some profit from it, you need to think a little bit about how you're going to do it, and how you're going to distribute it, and how you're going to attain that goal of profitability, and not just production.
That's true. Again, when we started out, not only was the process very expensive to make the film, having the steam back and all that, it was marketing, Shirelle. A lot of people, they barely finished the film and they had absolutely no money for marketing, and that's a very important role, because like you say, you could do a film, but if you get investors, how do you plan to get their money back? And now, so again, with the comparison, back then, they made the film, and however, major distributors were not even interested in looking at it. It was very hard to get an interest of a distributor on a major platform. Now you can really distribute it yourself. You can put it on your own, create a website on it. You can make a video on demand and create a marketing campaign behind it using the social media platforms, your Instagram, Facebook accounts. Get your friends, have their friends, and everybody do a big push and you could really make a splash.
Absolutely. And to your point about the film that War Room that didn't have any actors, I think nowadays also, if you do not have name actors in your movie, you could still get your stuff on platforms, because everybody is looking for content now because of the internet and streaming and all these platforms now. People need content, so your chances are better now, even if you don't have named actors, to get your film distributed someplace major.
That's true. That's true. It's about a very good story. Is it engaging? You know, and can you pour into it what the necessary elements that will draw in the audience? And I think that if you can achieve that, I agree with you, Shirelle, you can get your work out there, because there are a lot of content platforms that are available now, and it's just not the major ones that that we were accustomed to years ago. Right. So in a sense, yeah,
the 3 channels and went off at like I'm dating myself.
It's all right.
Channels and the TV went off at, what was it, 2:00 in the morning or something like that. These millennials could not even fathom that. Oh my goodness.
That's so true. That is so true. Wow. What is some of the advice you've been dropping nuggets along the way? I want you to just share some advice to those who are listening. But before you do that, we'll be right back after these messages. You're listening to Talk with Terra, powered by African American Woman in Cinema on Rudy Radio.
Hi, I'm Dan O'Shea, Executive Director for Maureen's Haven Homeless Outreach. It is our mission to support the homeless in our community. We provide an emergency winter shelter program, a day center, and support services to help the homeless in our community. With your help, we can continue to provide services so critically needed to the homeless in our community. Please visit www.maureenshaven.org or call us at 631-727-683.
Welcome back. You're listening to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Woman in Cinema, and today we are talking with the fabulous Shirelle, who is a very gifted and talented storyteller and filmmaker. And we are so happy to have her here today, as she is sharing wonderful jewels that we can all take and use in a very tangible way. Shirelle, before we went on break, I talked about words of inspiration and encouragement. You've certainly been doing that throughout this process, but specifically now, we're just going to focus on that. What are some inspirational and encouraging words that you can give to our listeners who are considering, maybe on the fence, just about have that courage to go out there and make their own film?
First of all, I'm like everybody's cheerleader. You can do it!
That is so awesome.
Everybody's cheerleader. You can do it. Yes, I am the poster child for it is never too late. I'm the poster child for it's never too late. I love encouraging people and inspiring people and motivating. That's what I do well all the time. And I would just tell them, if you believe in yourself, do not let fear paralyze you, because it can. And what if I stopped at I think I can?
Wow.
What if I stopped at I think I can, Terra? When I said I can write a book, I can do a play, and I can do a movie. What if I just stopped at I don't know how to do this because I did not go to school for this? What if I just stopped at that? I would not be the winner of the African American Women in Cinema Film Festival Audience Award. I would not be the winner of another film festival. My first film won Best Comedy. So I wouldn't be the winner, selected for the 20th African American Women in Cinema Film Festival. So, and I wouldn't have been the most watched short film on a platform where I debuted it as a virtual premiere. So If I would have stopped and let fear paralyze me, I would not have gotten to experience. I would not be looking at my trophy right now and the one that I'm about to receive, an award that I'm about to get. So I'm not, it's like, do not let, that is, fear is, what do they call it? False evidence appearing real. Yes. Yes. Do not let it stop you. Because one thing is for certain, two things for sure. You know what is not going to happen if you don't do anything. Well, no, you know what is going to happen if you don't do anything. Nothing. You know, but you don't know what can happen if you do. You don't know what can happen. And guess what? If it doesn't turn out the way you think it was, so what? That takes bravery and courage, and you still did more than the person that's sitting on the sideline and looking at you, seeing what you're going to do. You still did far more than the person that's like, okay, the naysayers or the doubters, or let's see if she can or he can. You still did more, no matter what, because lessons are to be learned. So they're not losses, they're lessons learned. Those L's, those are lessons learned. And I'd rather, you know, it's something not turn out the way I wanted than to go to my grave with all of this stuff and still in me. Go to your grave empty. I've heard this before. Go to your grave empty. Get it all out of you. Don't have a woulda, shoulda, coulda. Or maybe I should have, you know, or it's too late now. No, do it. I'd rather do everything and fail than have I should have, you know, at the end of it all. No. Do it. I'm encouraging you. I'm inspiring you. I'm motivating you. Do it. All you have to do is have the will. Like for my situation and circumstance, it was faith without works is dead. So long as you have the faith as your foundation, let God put his super on top of your natural. And that's what has been happening to me. I just move forward and he would meet me wherever I would go. Like, okay, I don't have this. Let me just keep moving forward and looking for it. I believe in Matthew 7:7-8 says, ask, seek, and knock. So keep asking, keep seeking, keep knocking. And the door that's going to open eventually.
That is powerful. Ooh, that's so powerful. You're right. You know, Shirelle, what people don't talk about is the pain of regret. They don't talk about that. And to me, I think that is one of the most deepest pain that any human being could ever experience. Because for whatever reason, they feel that they cannot go back and reverse it. And it may be too late, because it could be on their sick bed. You know, they've been diagnosed, God forbid, with something terminal, and it's nothing no one can do. Although I do believe in healing, but you know, some people are on a different path, and they're just rewinding the videotape of their life, so to speak, and they're replaying all the areas that they wish they could have stepped out and just tried it. You know, safety, playing it safe has its role, but that should not be the way of life. I don't think it should be.
Right. And like you said, playing it safe it's different. It's wisdom. It's wisdom. It's caution at the right times, but it's not fear. It's just you know, moving forward in the right direction and doing the right thing. Is different than fear. That's just using wisdom. And you know, like you said, playing it safe. It has its lane and how you do it, as long as it's not fear, but it's just using wisdom.
That's powerful. That's powerful. I never heard it in that way, but you're right. You're right. It is about, you know, utilizing your wisdom that you've learned in the right way. That's perfect. I like that. So, Shirelle, I want to make sure we get this in before we have to go. Can you please tell the audience where can they find you on social media? That's number one. Number two, if someone is interested in an idea that they would like to share with you for possible co-production, is that something that you would consider doing? Would you also consider doing producing someone else's work? So those three things.
Okay, so you can find me at Shirelle the Writer That's ShirelleTheWriter, Shirelle the Writer on Instagram. That's the main social media that you can just access without having me to accept you. I am on Facebook, but I have to accept you.
Okay.
Shirelle Thorne. And Shirelle the Writer also on Facebook as well. I did start a production company called Me My Productions with the intention of, once I got to the level that I expect to manifest for myself, to be a bridge for others. So yes, that's definitely one of the things I think about. I love helping people. I believe that we need each other. It's a song that says, "I need you to survive."
Yes.
And so that is the goal for Me My Productions, is to be that bridge for others. But I also have to get to a point myself where I can pull you along. I'm still trying to get some places. So all of that is a part of the plan in the future. And again, like I talked about before, when the funding comes, we're going to have a good old time. Other people, I'm going to be pulling them right on along, because I know that my story and my struggle is so that I am so in tune with people that are trying to get to the next level in this business and just in other things, just period, and with their dream. And so I definitely want to be a bridge for others as well.
That's excellent. Would you consider, if someone had submitted maybe a couple pages of their script, to give any constructive feedback based on your experience? Would you consider doing that at this stage?
At this stage, if I can be a help, I can be a help to people. I love helping people. At this stage, so however I can help people, I would do that as best as I can. With just definitely information that's free, information is free. So at this stage of the game, if somebody wanted me to look at, like you said, a couple pages, not a whole not a whole script, a couple pages, hey,
a book.
Yeah. Not a book, a couple pages, that's easy. That's easy to do.
Oh, that's great. Do you have a favorite genre that you tend to gravitate towards?
I like anything that has comedy in it. Like my projects are comedy and rom-com. I did do one drama, like I said, but it still has some funny moments in there. But I tend to lean towards anything that's going to make you laugh or smile, because that's what we need nowadays.
Oh yeah,
that's what we need. I will lean towards that, and something that is family oriented.
Okay,
that's what I
good.
want. Yeah,
that's good. Well, I don't know where the time went, but they're telling me that we have to go. And Miss Shirelle Thorne, thank you so much for being an awesome guest and sharing your wonderful jewels with the audience. I know that they'll be able to take this and really be able to apply it in their journey as well. We deeply appreciate you. And thank you so much, audience, for listening to Talk with Terra. I am Terra Renee from African American Women in Cinema Organization. You can visit us online at www.aawic.org. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Talk with Terra is made possible by Rude Rangers Entertainment. Our creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Please don't forget to like and share this episode with as many people as possible. We sincerely appreciate you joining us today and wish you continued peace, blessings, and prosperity. See you next episode.
Thank you.